Hello. Sorry if the focus on this wavers or the camera jiggles a little bit. My setup for recording my desk is pretty abysmal, and one day I'm going to do something about that, but today is not that day because ultimately I don't actually record doing traditional art all that often. To me, traditional art isn't something I do with the goal of improving. Like, I don't care if my traditional art ever gets any better. Sorry about my chair squeaking. I don't care if it ever improves. It could stay exactly the same forever, and I would be fine with that. Because to me, traditional art is the thing I do for fun. Entirely for fun. Ooh. Sorry, I tried to use a pen. Because, yeah. On top of paint, I mean. It didn't work very well. Wow, yuck. But yeah, it's the thing I do for fun. I just throw supplies at sketchbooks. I love completing sketchbooks. I love doing silly little challenges in sketchbooks where I try to finish them as quickly as possible. I know it's at least a little bit ridiculous, but it is the thing I find fun. You know, everyone finds their fun somewhere, and I find it in doing ridiculous sketchbook challenges. Because why not? I have a sketchbook that I have recently completed, and you will see a sketchbook tour of that, but first you'll see the next mermaid video, which I still have a lot of drawing I need to do for that mermaid video, but I'm looking forward to showing you this complete sketchbook. It has a lot of swatches, and you saw it in the previous two Panda Mart videos. I actually already recorded the using the gouache paint for a video, and then I didn't move it to my phone. Didn't move it onto my computer before deleting it from my phone, so I ended up having to, not long ago, sit and paint this spread using the gouache, which is okay, because I really like gouache. Gouache is probably my favourite type of paint. It bugs me that my local store, it doesn't have any gouache. Like, I know that it's a chainsaw, it's a chain store, so, you know, it's got lots of locations, and other locations have the packs where it's got a bunch of little tubes of paint, much like the ones I have from Panda Mart, and my local store does not have it, and never has it in stock, and they also don't sell individual tubes of gouache paint either. They sell individual tubes of acrylic paint and oil paint, which if they've got oil paint, I don't see why they can't do gouache. Or is gouache just not a thing many people use? But yes, I yearn for more places to have gouache, because the only place I can think of that has individual tubes of gouache is the drawing room, which is further in town, and I can't exactly go into the drawing room every time I want a singular tube of paint. That would be exceedingly ridiculous. But yeah, for these two pages, I decided to try painting the full page with a wash of lovely green, and you could maybe see me refer to the colour wheel, because I wanted to use the colour that was opposite to Gavin's hair colour. Sorry, I just dropped a container on the floor. I wanted to use a colour that was opposite to her hair colour, so I referenced the wheel, and it came to me as being green, so I used a lovely pastelish green. I was intending on going for a more lime green, but I've never claimed to be particularly good at mixing colours. Like, that is definitely not a thing I've ever claimed, so, you know, it is what it is. I'm also still working on Mermaid. I know I made my own prompt list, but I don't think I put much thought into it in terms of prompts, because for day 2 I put Mersona, so yourself as a mermaid, but I didn't want to draw myself as a mermaid. Like, I don't know why, no, I didn't want to do that. So I ended up drawing my friend Flower as a mermaid instead. I don't know if she's seen it yet, she hasn't commented on it, but... And I based her tail on a lionfish. If she tells me her favourite fish, I will probably happily draw her as a mermaid again. Like, I am down with that. Like, out of my friends, I can happily draw Finn and Flower lots. Like, I don't need a reference sheet for either of them. I'm fine with drawing them, or at least how they portray themselves online. I don't draw their real life faces. I think it would be uncomfortable to me to draw anyone's real life face. I like being able to draw people's personas and how they portray themselves as opposed to their actual selves. I think it's more interesting because, you know, when you've got a persona of how you portray yourself, I think it says a lot more about you than how you actually look. Because when you look at how you actually look, obviously your personality does show in that, but you can get a lot more creative. Well, you can still get pretty creative in drawing in your actual physical self. You know, people get creative with their clothing and their hair and so forth. But I just find it more interesting because you can go to unrealistic places and more silly places, I guess, even with a persona. Like, your persona doesn't have to obey the laws of physics, your persona doesn't have to be a human, your persona can do literally anything. There is no bounds to that. Sorry, my cat just came in and struck a weird pose. But yeah, I find that a lot more interesting than just looking at someone's face. And also, I post my art online. Not everyone's actually comfortable with having depictions of their actual self online. So I would rather not risk it for the biscuit in this case. I personally don't mind having my actual face online. Like, if you look, you can reasonably find images of my real life face or my real life's full body even. Like, there have been times where I used to post full body selfies. I haven't in a long time. Well, I say a long time, but I think since last year. But it's, you know, it's not particularly interesting, so I don't have any issues with showing myself. I just don't think it's interesting, you know. I don't know what I was thinking. My brain sort of turned off for a moment there. But yeah, on the screen I'm drawing my character Gavin. Gavin is a character I've had for nearly 10 years now. She's one of my older original characters. She was originally a Minecraft skin I used in Minecraft, obviously, and then I used the Minecraft skin in Minimator images, because that's a thing I used to use a lot, Minimator. I still have Minimator installed and could in theory use it, but I just haven't really had any reason to in a while. I did for a while like using it for thumbnails. Like, maybe I'll go back to that when the new season of Fishbowl starts up, because I do like them, but I also like doing my drawn thumbnails. I also have been doing a thing lately where I'm scribbling little stars and giving them a more doodly look, and I think that's fun. You know, why not add a little fun and whimsy to my thumbnails? Because I'm aware of the fact that my thumbnails don't typically look particularly good, so why not just add some fun to them? But yeah, Gavin, one of my oldest characters, she started as a Minecraft skin. I used that in renderings. Eventually I started drawing the Minecraft skin. My art was pretty bad back then, but I was a beginner to it because, quite frankly, I did not start actively interested in art until later on in my teenage years. Like, I was not someone who was interested in art from a young age, and yeah, I wasn't interested in art from a young age. I was more interested in writing as a kid, which is interesting because now I struggle to write and actually prefer visual medias. But I liked writing as a kid, I liked writing in high school. Eventually I started learning to draw, and I just liked drawing my friends from a Minecraft server. And then Gavin came as a natural extension of that. You know, everyone likes to have a character. And then eventually I kept drawing, and I didn't really write all that. The amount I spent writing decreased. I used to do NaNoWriMo every year. I haven't done that in a long time, but we all know what happened to NaNoWriMo. They shot themselves in the foot there. And now I try to motivate myself to write, and mostly I don't. It's amazing that I've even been doing any kind of drawing, because I often don't do that either. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I liked this gouache. 10 out of 10.